This video is all about adverbs. We'll talk about what they modify, like verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, and entire clauses. And we'll talk about what adverbs clarify, how, when, where, to what degree, and the frequency. And a few other miscellaneous things about adverbs. So first, an adverb that modifies a verb usually tells you how, when, where, why, how often, or how much the action is performed. Tara walks gracefully. He runs fast. The dinner guests arrived early. The bolded words are all adverbs. Adverbs also allow us to refine the meaning of an adjective. Myron drives an extremely old Volkswagen bus. Here, extremely is modifying the word old. Her baby is so adorable. That's the most flimsy excuse ever. Adverbs can even modify each other. He broke the news too suddenly. He appeared to accept his award almost reluctantly. Annette checked her Fitbit very often. These words suddenly, reluctantly, and often were all adverbs to begin with, modifying the verb. Sometimes an adverb modifies not just a specific word, but an entire clause or sentence. As in, oddly, no one had thought of that solution. Fortunately, the check was in the mail. Or interestingly, in Erwin Schrödinger's thought experiment, the cat is simultaneously alive and dead. I try to think of adverbs in terms of what they clarify, and I think of these 5 different questions. An adverb might tell you how something is done, as in, Lindsay quickly ran around the track. They might tell you when something was done. The class started early, today, and today is another when. 2 adverbs of when. Where. John ran where for lunch? John ran home for lunch. To what degree? You could say, I am almost finished, I am barely finished, I'm not even close to being finished. These are, to what degree are you finished eating your lunch? How often something occurs, or its frequency. Do you always dip your pizza rolls in ranch dressing? Do you rarely blow your nose with sandpaper? Every ly word is not an adverb. Sometimes we have adjectives like friendly, or dastardly, or cowardly that describe nouns. It's about function, whereas the early bird gets the worm, that's an adjective. He arrived early, that's an adverb. It's about what they are modifying. There are both regular and irregular forms of adverbs. A standard pattern might be, quick becomes quickly. Nice becomes nicely. But does good become goodly? No, good becomes well. And there's other irregular adverbs, just how there are irregular adjectives in the comparative and superlative form. There's also informal or shorter forms, and the comparatives can be different. For example, you could say, I ran slowly. Would that make sense? How about I ran slow? Turns out both work. If you were trying to compare, he ran more quickly than I did. That's maybe a little more old-fashioned, but it works. You probably would just say, he ran quicker than I did. And you can do this for many other adverbs, like Janet learns quickly, but John learns more quickly. You could say, Janet learns quickly, but John learns quicker. Sometimes you can't do that, though. He solved those problems more rapidly than I did. That works. But you couldn't say he solved those problems rapider than I did. So it depends really on the case. You can shorten things sometimes, and the comparative forms might involve this extra word. You might be able to shorten it, you might not.